All right, episode 7. We're wearing the same stuff that we wore in episode 6 because we're doing back-to-back episodes. We missed one last week, and we do what we said we're going to do, so we're coming up and doubling it up for you. So if you look at it and you see like, oh, they're wearing the same stuff, that's the reason. So Seth Humphrey here, Coach Christian. So one of the things that I see, and it's been something that it's everybody. It's not just me, not just random people. It's everybody. We have created a box that we live in, and that box that you live in, what happens is those are stories that you've created. That I'm too old, I'm too young, I've got injuries, I got limitations. That's going to be cost too much money. There's just so many stories that we run in our head. Nutrition's hard. I can't have carbohydrates. Just across the board, nobody's listening to me. There's just all kinds of different things that we always, and those change as we start to break out of that box. And the way you break out of that box is question the BS that you're telling yourself on a daily basis. And so I'll let you kind of take it over, but one of the boxes that I see a lot of people that, and once they break out of this, it was big for me, is we have a meal on maybe the weekend, and then maybe you've weighed before after you've had a day of eating too much or whatever, and you see the scale go up. Now, that story of, oh, with this meal made me gain 2 or 3 pounds, what will happen is, and this is what used to happen for me all the time, is I'd go in to Saturday and then Sunday, and I would go, oh, well, I'll start back on Monday. And so then eat a lot of food, and I talk about a lot, like when I go ham, I go hard. And so like eat a lot of food on the weekend, and then be tired and sluggish and start again on Monday, and just repeat that same pattern, that karmic cul-de-sac of just starting and stopping. I'm going to start again. So that's a story that I've seen with clients, is putting on weight. Then once they put on the weight, they think that they can't have those meals because they're going to gain weight. When in actuality, I'll let you kind of take it. If they would have just stayed and had nutrition and just continued on with just have that meal and get right back on it and eating right again, they wouldn't have gained that. And why is it that they're gaining that weight? What is it, the big picture? Why is that? Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of those stories they're lies. A lot of those stories are lies that we tell ourselves, and we think, if I have just this little piece of cookie, and you think just small little things like that, you're not taking into account everything that goes into your body. You think, well, if I just take a little piece of this and a little piece of that, and it turns into one thing right after another. But you got to realize everything that you put in your mouth is a calorie. Yeah. You have to count it. It counts. So all those little incremental, tiny little bites that you think that you're taking and not actually cheating and eating too many calories, it all builds up. So it's just lies that you're telling yourself. And it's a good way to not get you success.
Well, stop you exactly where you are. One of the reasons why after you eat, let's say you have a meal that has higher carbohydrates, then what will happen is that carbohydrates is like a sponge, and that sponge will hold on to water. And so then it's natural that if you've got a sponge that you have in your stomach that day and you weigh, then yeah, you're going to weigh 2 to 3 pounds. But if you would have just continued to do what needed to be done and worked your way through it, come and got a workout in, things like that, then you weigh the next day, what you immediately see is like, oh, okay, well, I'm right back to where I was, and that water weight's off as far as that stuff goes. The big thing that I see with this, and this is guys like myself, probably not as many women, but it's one of those things where eat so much and you think that you put on 8 to 10 pounds over the weekend, and then you eat good for 2 days, and then you tell yourself like you're back down 8, 9 pounds. And so in your head, the story that you've created is like, oh, I can lose weight fast. Oh, I can get weight off fast. And so if you tell yourself that, then what happens is you'll allow yourself to eat a lot more food and allow yourself get off the hook, basically, with no accountability. You go and then you eat more, and then you're just losing that same weight because it's just water weight, and then it goes from there. But gradually it's going to go up. So it may be that you got right back down, but it's another pound you gained that week. You don't really look at it because you're looking at the 9 to 10 pounds that came right off, and then the next week it's another pound on top of that. And so that's the stuff you got to be aware of. And like Christian was saying, it is lies. We all lie to ourselves. And so that's like with where we start with our clients from the get-go is, what are the facts? Like, where are you and what are the facts? And we have a kind of operating system to be like, okay, well, I'm going to be real and get right to the facts in everything that I do, and you're going to save a lot of time and a lot of energy when you go that direction as far as that stuff goes. Do you have anything else there?
Yeah, what we said with lies, like, we as humans, we're hard on ourselves. So we kind of look at it like, I'm too young to do this, or I'm too old to do this, I can't do this. But I think what we need to do is flip that mindset and say, I am able to do this, I can do this, and stop being so hard on yourself, and just don't give yourself room to lie to yourself. So do things the right way. Do what you said you would do. That way you don't have to tell yourself those lies. And if you need help, reach out to somebody. Get a group that's going to help hold you accountable, and don't tell those lies to yourself.
What if?
Yeah.
What if those lies aren't true? So a quick story is, like, back in 2015, I did a CrossFit event. I hurt my ankle. I was about a month in. I don't do CrossFit, don't like CrossFit. It was like a month in of working out, was getting at my leanest weight, was feeling great. And next thing I know, I was playing my boy, and he's getting at that age where he could battle back pretty good and beat me at the game basketball. And I went up and I came down. And when I came down, I'd never sprained my ankle, but I sprained that ankle. And I had a month and a half to rehab it to get to that competition that I was going to be in. And the story would have been easy for me to say, like, oh, hurt my ankle, can't do it, going to bow out. But the thing was I created leverage. I created leverage by, one, going to this CrossFit and telling everybody I was going to win it. Two, I got on Facebook Live, and it was just popped up about a week ago. I got on Facebook Live and told everybody that I was going to win it. Now everybody's watching me. All the pressure's on me, and accountability is on another level. And so it created leverage. Went to the event, and long story short, won the event. After that event, on the way home from Tulsa, it was it unlocked that box, and I went to a larger box, and I started to look around, and I had more space, and it started to be like, what else is possible? Mm-hmm. Like, what else have I let myself off the hook of that I could have potentially done, but we've created these stories that keep us in this box. So my point in that is like, question the stuff that you're telling yourself. Like, is that really true? Do I really, really know that that's true, or have I not even tried it? And I think that if you will, when it comes to working out, I'm very confident that if you've done the boot camps and you've done the CrossFits and you've done the big gym and you hadn't really had a plan before, I'm very confident that if you give us a shot here at the Vitality Mill and come in and give us a couple months and just follow the process, that it'll unlock that box for you, that you'll understand that, like, one, fitness doesn't have to be hard. Two, nutrition doesn't have to be hard. And three, if you have injuries or limitations, that's not stopping you from getting results. We can still get results. Like, let's name off, like, Shane, who has one hand that he can't grip with. We've got all kinds of clients that have injuries and limitations that are stopping them. Brett Bell, who had a liver transplant, like, came in like skin and bones and couldn't lift his arms over his head.
Michelle Jones lost 85 pounds. She just did her first squat. A lot of times we're holding the TRX, and we've been progressing at that over and over, doing different variations to help her build it up. She just did her first 10 bodyweight squats yesterday.
Well, she had knee replacement. Yeah, she had knee replacement like way before that. So it was always that story of, oh, this knee's not ready to squat. And so when you break out of that box, what's possible? And I think that's the question that you really need to ask yourself, to, like, where am I limiting myself? And then on that, who's watching? Like, if your kids you could talk all day long, and tell your kids that they can do whatever they want to do and just your dreams, or you can make it all happen. But if you're not following through with that, they're watching you and going like, why aren't you reaching your dreams, Mom and Dad? Why aren't you trying to go out? Why are you not taking control of your health? And they're going to watch you. And I say that with 100% integrity too, because I had a son who, or I still have a son who, I was the hypocrite a lot of the time. I would tell him, don't eat this, don't eat that. And right when he would turn his head, I was shoving it down my pie hole as far as that stuff goes. And that identifying that I was a hypocrite, it broke that story of, hey, watch what you're, set the standard in everything you do. So that's episode 7.